I've only ever had the one girlfriend, and well, she's fat. I mean, she's not like some daytime horror show that's glued to a bed with a bucket of fried chicken or anything. But well, she's pretty fat. Fat enough to get, the look. But isn't that life, loving someone despite their flaws? The other guys at university might have called her piggy behind her back, but she was my piggy. The most attractive thing about a girl is how much she's into you. And when you're a pasty, short, pigeon-chested, limp-wristed, acne-ridden, broke loser with anxiety and depression like me, a little bit into you might as well be winning the lottery. Okay, so maybe we had both settled for second, or third, or fourth best. I'd first met her when she had just been friend-zoned by a childhood crush. Poor girl had followed him all the way through school to university, only to learn a guy like him didn't date a girl like her. I mean, what did she expect? A tall, handsome guy who played guitar and crooned love ballads. A guy like that was just gonna serenade her off her feet. He would have needed a forklift. No offense, Piggy. I love you. I'm going on a diet, she says to me one day, and I look at her, and it's obvious that I'm not thrilled by this because she asks me, what's wrong? Look, I'm not saying she's perfect. It's just, I'm happy. Happy enough having a big girlfriend who likes me enough to hold my hand when we go on dates and kisses me if I ask nicely. Is it so wrong for me to want things to stay the same? I don't say these things. Instead, I smile and tell her I'd support her, 100%. And she looks at me with those round, hazel eyes, and she gives me a big old hug, and honestly, I feel like a pretty good boyfriend for a moment. This is what's going to happen. She'll work out for a few weeks, head to the gym a bit, maybe plan a week or two of meals with no fried food or red meat. Then she'll slip up, maybe catch a cold or skip leg day, or there'll be a half-price sale at her favorite fried chicken place, and things will just fall back into place. So I hug her back, sneaking a look at my watch to see how long until lunch. The funny thing about people is that they always surprise you. When push comes to shove, some people discover hitherto untapped reserves of willpower and discipline and lift cars off of babies and cure cancer and stuff. Anyway, that's how I learned that my girlfriend is a superwoman. No amount of secretly bought ice cream in the freezer, serendipitous takeaway vouchers, beer or chocolate could steer away from her newfound course. Those pounds, they just wash off of her like they never existed at all. She slips out of her old, flabby body like a Disney princess mincing out of a fur coat, gliding down the ballroom stairs for her Prince Charming. She was always funny and nice and kind of pretty before, but now that she has the body to go along with it, it's obvious she's a total hottie. It starts innocently enough. She gets invited to some intercultural club event by a few men in her law tutorial. And I do mean men. 6-foot-something, rock-solid, cologne-wearing, Tesla-driving men. Funny, smart guys who play tennis and discuss Kierkegaardian philosophy and donate their perfect Orion blood bi-monthly to sickly children in Africa. Guys who wouldn't have even looked at her a few months ago. And they take one glance at me and they know I'm so out of my league. I'm not even playing the same sport. They smile, shake my hand, and look clear straight past me. I don't even exist at all. All of a sudden, my girlfriend is making friends left and right. Trivia nights with the guys from economics class, food markets with some guy friends from a marketing lecture, vultures smelling soon-to-be fresh meat, circling, waiting for her to cast me off like offal. People are so nice at university. It's nothing like high school, she says to me, completely forgetting how they treated her in our first semester. I don't get a chance to reply because we're walking in a group of her newfound friends and we've arrived at some artisan bar or whatever, and she's swept inside before I can say a thing. They ply her with drinks, compliments, banter, competition. She laughs at their jokes, smiles and blushes at their flattery, says something witty back. Oh, don't worry about me. The eternal +1 that hangs about like a dark cloud threatening to piss on their picnic. The stinger is her old crush, the friend zoner. Ever since she jettisoned enough fat to light London's lamps for lunch, Guitar Man has been spending an awful lot of time with her. As her best friend, of course. Does she even realize what's happening? Is she just too nice or too dumb to see what's going on? That men can be pigs? Or maybe she does know. How heady, that feeling of having hungry attention from him. They file out of the bar, and they're all laughing and shouting about a karaoke bar a few streets over. Guitar Man says something. I whistle later. They're piling into a taxi. She just looks helplessly back at me as she's taken away to wherever, and I'm left there, in the dark, the cold, the rain, alone. The next day she calls me, and I'm half waiting for an apology. But no, it's just more bad news. Her whole club, when did she join, is going to Gothenburg or Hamburg or wherever. They want her to come along, attend their fake UN debate BS. But of course, she won't go. It's way too expensive. She can't afford it. And she wouldn't take off for 3 weeks like that. But the statement is a question, and I can hear her asking in that testing the waters kind of way. Somehow or other her birthday comes up and she manages to swing the conversation to an early present. Maybe help fund her trip? Well, I stand up for myself like a man would, and by that I wheedle and whine and wring my wrists and tell her I'd love to help her, I really would. I just don't have the money right now. In a matter of speaking, it's true. Okay, so having 0 hobbies and depression means I might have saved a little nest egg by default, enough to send her on a finding herself trip to Europe, but what I don't have is the money to fund losing my girlfriend to Guitar Man on a romantic trip to Lincoln or wherever. She's disappointed, but she's used to that, so she takes it in stride and everything looks like it's going to be okay until that damned Guitar Man learns she's not going because she doesn't have enough money. A sappy inspirational tweet later, and a newly created GoFundMe vacation page has gotten $400 and counting, and my freaking girlfriend is so damn happy about it. The kindness of strangers, she says, as we're driving to class, and I almost can't hear her over the sound of my eyeballs exploding. If she keeps getting more and more money, she might be able to make it after all, and well, that would be it. 3 weeks, surrounded by guys that are less ugly, less short, less dumb than me, going on holiday with the guy that she would have done anything to date a year ago. And so, when you ask me whether I saw the other car before I smashed into them, well, I don't know. My eyeballs had just exploded. Look, I just figured I needed to do something. If I could just stop her from going, just maybe a little itsy bitsy bit of incapacitation, maybe things would be okay. I never wanted to hurt anyone. She just had to be held up for a few days. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't see a thing through the haze of smoke and steam pouring from the engine. There are bangs and crackles coming from somewhere, and someone is screaming. That's me. I'm screaming. I think my legs are broken. I can't see. A hand pulls me out of the car, holds me to their chest, and I look up and of course it's Guitar Man. He looks down and says, "Everything will be alright," and he looks like Jesus' second coming. He lays me down on the sidewalk and rushes back into the smoke, and something obvious dawns on me. Guitar Man is a good guy. He hobbles out of the wreckage with 2 more people and sets them down next to me. No one is hurt. Well, no one important. Guitar Man is a good guy. He risked his life to pull me out of the wreckage. He risked his life to pull me out of the wreckage. What sort of person does that? A hero. A genuine hero. Looking back, Guitar Man has always been a good person. A better person than me. He's been friends with my girlfriend even when she was fat and he had nothing to gain from it. He'd invited me to all their stupid meetups. He went out of his way to help her. If I just stop assuming people are as worthless as I am, it's obvious. He's just a good person. He's everything I'm not. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve to be with her. She sits at the foot of my bed and she babbles for a bit about nothing at all. And then she apologizes. She apologizes. Why the hell is she apologizing to me? Why is she so nice? These damned lovely good people with their care and empathy. I nearly killed us. And she's saying sorry? She says something about her club, as she's going to stay to take care of me. Just go on the trip, I managed to say. Of course, she puts up a fight. She's worried about me. She shouldn't go whilst I'm like this. When you love someone, you want to see them happy. If you're hurting them, if you're holding them back, maybe the best thing you can do is just get the hell out of their way. Some people are just a biotoxin to others. I gesture to my backpack and she pulls out a wad of cash. Happy birthday, I tell her, and that's when she wells up and gives me one of her big ol' hugs. Bon voyage. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be okay by myself. Well, I'll learn to be okay by myself. She looks back at me from the doorway. It'll be okay, she says. It'll all be okay. I have just one thought. This is the last time I'm ever going to see her. That's just a fact. I watch her as she walks out of the room, out of the hospital, and out of my life. You and I both know you're not coming back from this trip alone. You're a young, newly pretty girl going on a transatlantic trip with your old crush, a guy that'd lift cars off of babies. You deserve better than me. Second best doesn't have to cut it for you anymore. I'm happy for you. Really. Just promise me something. Years down the line, if we ever meet again, and you've got your dream job, married to your true love, with a new house in the suburbs and a little baby on the way, don't feel bad for me, because not fucking up your happiness might be the only thing I'll ever do right in my life.